Dawn Wookie Rosbach
joined the meeting.
Hello, everyone. And hello again to some I just met and just saw 5 minutes ago. All right. Oh, a lot of people. This is awesome. Sue, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Good seeing everybody.
Seems like in many ways I've seen more people now than I used to because Zoom, it's so easy to connect to so many, but then there's so many people that I used to see all the time that I never run into. So good and bad, for sure. All right, it's 3:30. I'm just gonna go ahead and kick it off. Paul, you can keep bringing people in as well.
I'll do that.
You don't mind? Yeah, because when I share my screen, I'm probably not gonna be able to see it. And
No worries.
Can you make me a host, Paul?
Oh, yes.
They are piling in. I'm gonna go slow, everyone. Just give everyone a couple minutes to come in. Hello, Mr. Kiker. I see your signs everywhere. You should be running this presentation about branding and marketing, man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna wait. So we've got 8 more since I last spoke. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes, everyone. We're just gonna give everyone an opportunity to be able to figure out how to log in if it's their first time logging in, although pretty much everyone's been on Zoom at this point, but that still doesn't mean that there isn't the opportunity for technical difficulties. And so many people put a lot of time and energy into this that I wanna make sure if they're thinking of attending that we give them the opportunity to attend and participate. Oh yeah, they're trickling in here. Yeah, that other thing with Zoom, it is amazing. I know you're all doing the same thing. How many more meetings you have now? It's because you can stack these things back to back, which is good, but also can be tough at times too. I used to like that little transition between driving from meeting to meeting and being able to transition from one topic to another. All right, 30. I'm gonna go ahead and start at this point because it's 3:32 and I wanna be respectful of everyone's time. Let me close that out. All right, beautiful. Well, welcome everybody. Today we're gonna talk and I'm gonna show you the branding and it's the branding playbook, but what I'm affectionately calling at this point is the branding and communication playbook, because I think this thing goes well beyond just branding at this point. And you'll see that as we go along. So I have presented multiple times on this playbook, but it's been different segments and we've sliced and diced it depending on the audience. So this time, since we have an opportunity to go through it, I'm going to just go through page by page, kind of do a summary on it. And Paul, I can't remember if we're going to be able to get it to everybody or how that works, but we'll figure that out. We can't email it because it's so large, so we have to set up some sort of a link that people can get access to. But this will be a public document, living and breathing out there for you all to be able to review at a later date. But for now, let's just go through it. I do want to make sure if you have a question, comment, want me to elaborate, please just unmute, speak up. You can interrupt me at any time. That's no problem whatsoever. And then I'd also encourage part of the branding committee, if you were on that, if I'm breezing over something too quickly and you want to elaborate or just bring some more color to that particular conversation, please do. And I'm looking at a few of you right now for that, including you, Mr. Bork. So without further ado, I'm going to let Jim Stoddard in. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me get set up first. Let me close everything. All right, there we go. Share. Bam. Can you all see Opportunity Unbound, the marketing playbook?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so the ultimate, the logo, the brand, you're seeing that right here, but I'm going to go into detail about how we came up with that. And first, I'll let you know, we contracted out a company, DCC Marketing, to help us with this initiative. And ultimately, DCC Marketing was unique from the perspective of they had already worked with a municipality on branding, and they also had worked with the University of Illinois on the new research centers that are going to be going from university to university, including Northern Illinois University, the NIC program. They would work with U of I on the branding of that, and Northern Illinois University contracted out DCC Marketing as well. So we're going to have a lot of parallels in our messaging, which part of this, that's a really important component of it. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so ultimately, this is what they kind of did. Who is DeKalb County? What is the current situation, climate, target audiences, and what's our edge? So they did, well, actually quite a few surveys with employers. They talked to a lot of us on the SWAT groups that participated, and I'll get into those details in a minute. As well as they gathered data that DCEDC provided that is just available through obviously other public sources, just to get a makeup of DeKalb County as a whole. And as you can see, we're 75% white, 11% Hispanic, 8% Black, and then 2% Asian and other races. So we are a predominantly white community, but as a county, but obviously different municipalities, the makeup is definitely different. We are diverse, which is awesome. So the current situation, this really just came down and they just wanted to see where things were at. And they agreed, and when they interviewed a lot of people, there is a lot of positive momentum going on right now in DeKalb County. We've all seen it last year, it was starting, but then also with Syngenta happening in Malta, and then Ferrara and Facebook happening in DeKalb. There's been some huge wins, but we can't forget about all the wonderful industries that we already have with the Ideals, Nestle's, 3M's, Targets, and all the development that has happened with them in the last few years too. It's been great. And then Northern Illinois University, we know that happened after this playbook, but increased enrollment even during a global pandemic. So we are poised for a lot of amazing things, and a lot of amazing things are happening right now. The survey that they did, they reached out to a lot of the major employers and actually interviewed their staff to be able to find out a variety of questions. And we had 197 responses from that, which was great. Some of the major employers, according to their company policy, couldn't do the surveys with their staff, but still to get 200 responses was absolutely wonderful. 53% of them were female, and let me move you guys out of the way. And 91% of them were white of the survey responders. So if you look at the demographics here, this is just the people that participate in the survey, what they look like. Home ownership, 76% of them actually own homes. How many of them have lived in their current cities? A lot of them have lived 20 plus years, which was really interesting. I thought people would be a little more, not transient, but move around a lot more, and they don't. The cities that they currently live in, this was a great mix of county citizens that actually responded to the survey. DeKalb obviously was the largest one at 38%, but it's the largest municipality. But Sycamore came in strong, and Malta and Cortland came in strong. So it was really cool to get that mix. The other, if I remember right, is outside of our community when it comes down to, or unincorporated areas of our community. Total household income, there were quite a range, but obviously a majority of them that responded as part of the survey were making $100,000 or more. That was about 35%, and the age group was 45 to 54, which was interesting too. When we look at the demographics of our community, we have a gap in that 25 to 40 range. We're going to talk about that a little bit here, but that it was obvious when we got the survey results back. It kind of confirmed what we had already suspected. Let's see, geographics. Oh yeah, so now we're getting into some of the things that'll be as part of the SWAT members. And when I say SWAT, I should elaborate. As part of the process of going through designing the playbook, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have 4 focus groups or 5 focus groups, I believe. And some of you on today's call were part of those.
Yeah, there were 4.
Yeah, we had representation from the business community, representation from, I'll call them the community champions people, those that are, you know, every time there's a grassroots movement that happens, they're the ones that are in it. They know the community, they know their people really well. It was great to have them. And Paul, the other 2, can you help me out?
Leadership group, leaders from governmental bodies and school districts and things like that. And also we had the Countywide Community Champions Committee. And I think what you were referring to was also grassroots community leaders as well.
Yeah, and to share like how important this process was, you know, the time that a lot of people spent on these committees, it was multi hours that we went through, and a lot of really open and honest and great conversation came about it. But one indicator to me about how important this is President Freeman actually attended 3 of the 4 focus groups. So she spent pretty much an entire day at DCEDC's office, just being a part of the focus groups to listen to the dialogue that was going on. And I thought that was really impressive that, you know, her time is valuable. Not that all of ours isn't, but she's definitely getting pulled in a lot of directions. It was great to have her in the room during all of those. But so if we ask, this was interesting, if we ask 3 words that best describe DeKalb County, right? The top words we got were agriculture, obviously, ordinary, okay, good and bad, ordinary, old-fashioned, okay, good and bad, blue collar, okay, welcoming. So that was kind of cool to see. The top 5 words were, when you think about DeKalb County, that kind of fits our niche for sure. And then 3 words that best describe the city that where they live. Safe, that's the one you just love hearing. But ordinary, welcoming was a huge response, which that's awesome. And I hear that all the time from people that come and visit the area about just how nice everyone is here. Old-fashioned and agriculture again, which was good information to have, because this helps us get an idea of when we actually do the branding, how do we make sure that the message that we're communicating is genuine. It really is who we are. 5 items which are important in choosing where to live for people that were here. Affordability of housing, that was a no-brainer. Commute to work, interesting. Job opportunities, absolutely. People are looking to go somewhere where there's opportunity for them. Crime rate statistics, they don't want to go somewhere that you know, is not safe, and we heard safe was one of the words that was used about DeKalb County. And the educational system, of course, a priority, especially for younger families. And if you ask them if they're planning on moving in the next 5 years, a majority of them said no, which I actually thought it might be the opposite. When you hear about, you know, Illinois is the #1 exporter of people, I thought we'd see a lot more of that. But it was interesting that people are in DeKalb County, you know, they like it and they want to stay. And their overall satisfaction rating was 3.7. So, you know, that's a pretty good score when it comes down to it. Then we looked about where do they go, what do they do? And this again is just building data for understanding the brand that we have and how to communicate and who to communicate to. So travel to Rockford a couple times a year. I thought that was fascinating. I figured people went to Rockford a lot just like Chicago, a couple times a year was the response that we got. So for the most part, people are, they're sticking around, it looks like, which is really cool to see. Education, they gave it a 3.5, K-12 opportunities. I shouldn't say education as a whole, K-12 opportunities. Higher education, a 3.5, and then training programs, a 2.9. So it shows there's some more work that we can do here. I know Lori Borowitz and the team at Kish College really do a great job offering all kinds of different skill trainings out there. And it just shows that, you know what, maybe part of this is, as far as the branding and the communication, making sure that not only do people from outside the area know the resources that we have for them, but also people that live here. There's more we can do on communication to help make that connection to Kish College for them, which was great. So shopping and dining, overall quality of life, 3.2, shopping in DeKalb County at 2.7, and dining 2.7. This is what was interesting though. So I don't know if those scores are high or low necessarily. It seems like it might be a little bit low. But then when you ask, how far do you typically drive to shop? They'll say the overwhelming majority of them was 10 to 20 minutes. Well, 10 to 20 minutes is not Geneva, St. Charles, Naperville. 10 to 20 minutes is somewhere within DeKalb County is where they're going to shop. So that was really cool to hear. A lot of our dollars are staying locally. And overall, we have a lot of what people need on the day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And then how far do they drive to dine out? 10 to 20 minutes. So they're sticking around to go out to restaurants, which was fascinating too. So that was good information to have. So I mentioned we had the focus group slot. So each one of the focus groups, we focused on, we had conversations about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of DeKalb County. And we got a lot of great information back from them. Location, workforce, and education kept coming up a lot. But here's a breakdown, here's a breakdown of the highlights. So for strengths, access, you know, we've got a lot of ways to get to DeKalb because of all the major interstates between 90, 39, and 88. I mean, it's easy to navigate to us. Our location, we're close to Rockford, close to Chicago. Shovel-ready sites came up. Urban was a term that was, I think, new to me at the time, where, you know, people are, they're living in the big city and they may not want that, but they don't want rural either. So it's that thing in between, which right now, especially because this was done during COVID. Yeah. So it was cool to see that idea of people leaving the cities and wanting to find another place. They used to love being downtown Chicago with all those people and all those options, but now, you know what? I don't want to be so close to people. I'd like a little green between me and the others. It just shows there's opportunity for us, which was cool. But then transportation, obviously distribution, education. So challenges, crime rates came up. We all know that there's definitely some crime in our area for sure. But perception and reality, those are stuff that we have to reconcile. High taxes, you knew that one was going to come up. Negative noise of critics. I personally thought that one was fascinating because there is a vocal minority in our community that seem to be loud and dominate some of the conversations out there. I personally just experienced this firsthand recently, but it just shows that there needs to be another voice, another message out there, and that's where the branding and communication really kick in. Lack of identity was fascinating. So here we are looking at doing a branding and communications initiative, and lack of identity is one of the things that people saw as a need. And lack of young leadership, that 25 to 40-year-olds, that's a gap. And the stats, I can't remember if it's in the playbook, but just so you all know, the stat in DeKalb County is that is a declining population for us, 25 to 40. So that's something that we're going to have to address because we all want the next generation to hand the baton to, right? But then those are also the future employees, the future leaders in our businesses, in our organizations. So we definitely have to go after that. And opportunities, you know, just industry, obviously between healthcare, agriculture, and education. We've got a lot. And now, especially with technology and Facebook coming, there's going to be more and more opportunities there, which was great. Housing, obviously, there's a lot of opportunities because of the empty lots that we have and housing that we have. Campus life is something that, especially at NIU, is something that is pretty cool. That whole environment, what we have access to at NIU. And then threats, you know, crime, low unemployment, state economy, of course. And then NIU, enrollment came up. That's why it was so great to hear the numbers from NIU. All right, so keywords, when they gathered all the data from all the notes and all the conversations, these are the words that came up the most. And you can see opportunity is the number one. Everyone, and the one that I was in, actually I was in two, the two that I was in, I heard that over and over again too. People talking about, man, there's so much opportunity here. If people only knew, if people only understood the opportunity. So that's one of the reasons why that got incorporated into the brand, but you can see the rest of them here. I'm gonna pause real quick and take a drink. Anyone got a question so far?
Oh, and I just wanted to add that clearly associated with this program and promotion and marketing, the biggest opportunities centered around owning our own media story and focusing on quality of life and entertainment, as well as alignment across all of the cities and villages in the county, aligning with key organizations, what we're all about and what we have to offer.
Absolutely. So target audience, two of them, internal audiences. As I mentioned, we need to be able to communicate everything that's going on to the people that live here, just to make sure that everyone understands in DeKalb County, all the opportunities that are out here for them. But then the internal audiences that includes obviously all the stakeholders, chambers, the DCCFs of the world, the media, existing businesses, and the residents. And then external, commuting employees, residents, businesses, entrepreneurs, professionals, and then also how we're going to retain students and as residents after they graduate. So that was all part of how we looked at who are we going to be talking to. What is our edge? Yeah, so it came down to, obviously unique location, talented workforce, and that's because of between Kishwaukee College and Northern Illinois University, we're cranking out a lot of people that are highly skilled and highly educated for whatever the various field is that they're going to go into. And then you put in affordable housing, you put in quality healthcare, and it's you know, we've got quite a bit to be able to talk about. Oops. All right, so the branding mission, when it came down to it, what we needed to figure out is what are going to be our strategic marketing goals and what does success look like? And one thing that I thought was really fascinating about DCC marketing is not only did they help us identify who and how to talk to them, but they also helped us figure out where we go to actually speak to them. Where online, is it digital, is it face-to-face, is it commercials, is it whatever it might be, all the different media out there. How do we make sure that we go ahead and get in front of them the right way? And then once we do, what's the message that we actually communicate and how well do we communicate it to them? So the marketing plan tactics, a key component of this is the actual hiring of a DeKalb County marketing manager. So someone that is going to be solely responsible for driving this particular initiative home. And what that means, when I say solely responsible, they kept talking over and over again, and I agree, that champion, that person that just lives and breathes DeKalb County and this message. And that person then will engage others and create like brand ambassadors, right? Others that are going to be knowledgeable on what are the top 5 things that we're trying to communicate to residents, to soccer moms in the suburbs that are looking to where they're going to send their child to school, to businesses and corporations out east and the ones that are looking to migrate here. And to do that, there's going to be a combination of news and radio, a bunch of different collateral, you know, even talking about billboards, being able to have something. What if it's on 294? What if it's on 290? What if it's on 90? What if it's on 88? I see those. I see Northern Illinois universities when I'm out traveling, and those things, no matter what, people are looking up, and we got to make sure that we're top of mind and we're hitting the different demographics that we're going after in the places where they're going to see our message. Obviously, website, come up with a digital marketing plan. Over the top is TV ads, YouTube ads, stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of video, and then social media content as well. Like paid digital, just some examples, you know, Facebook, LinkedIn, remarketing. These are all big things. These are the things that Facebook's doing, or Sundog's doing right now, my company. So firsthand, I understand it. Google search, obviously. Email, yeah, but really I think the social media platform is going to be big for some of these demographics. And then when you look around the world, you know, key statistic indicators for world's internet, mobile, and social media users, 7.7 billion is the total population out there, and 5 billion of them use the internet. So obviously this is a no-brainer. It's something we're gonna have to engage on in order to get our message out there. So here is where it gets kind of juicy for me, and why I think why I know this is gonna be so impactful is, you know, figuring out the brand and the logo it's one thing. I mean, it can be a cute design and everyone can look at it and go, oh, that's really neat. But really we want to make sure that it invokes emotion when someone sees it, when they hear it, on levels that we may not even be able to realize, right? So they came up with 2 archetypes that really narrow down who it is that we are, right? And you can see them here, but like the Explorer archetype, the goal is to experience a better, more authentic, fulfilling life, freedom, traits, adventurous, seeks and experiences new things, nonconformist, ambitious, pioneering. Their marketing niche, help people to feel free and express their individuality. And examples, the brand Jeep, the brand North Face, Starbucks, things like that are an archetype that we have. And then the secondary one, right? The creator, to create something of enduring value that realizes a vision. Expressive, imaginative, innovative, original, creative, sees the potential everywhere. And when you look at the examples, Lego, Apple, and Adobe. I agree, especially on that one, 100%. I mean, the history of innovation in DeKalb County is so strong, and throughout DeKalb County, from barbed wire to Ideal Industries and what they make. I mean, when you look around, we have had that history, and it's primarily because of the educational system that we have. We crank out entrepreneurs, we crank out inventors here, which is really cool. So the concept messaging, the name of this is Opportunity Unbound. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but Opportunity Unbound is a reference to all that DeKalb County has to offer. This provides a setup for us to talk about lesser known aspects through the county. We chose the word unbound to acknowledge that while DeKalb County has a lot to offer, we're taking it to the next level. And this line connotates the feeling of adventure, excitement, optimism, and of what's to come. I don't know, like some of you, this is the first time ever seeing it. You might sit there and go, yeah, Opportunity Unbound. But boy, when you really think about that one, since opportunity kept coming up amongst the residents over and over and over again, me personally, as a business person in DeKalb, that's how I see it all the time. I mean, there's just so much opportunity to raise your family, to have a good quality of life, have an amazing school district, and start a business, employ people, and make an impact on the larger community. There's so much opportunity in DeKalb County. I think that word nails it. And then the unbound piece for me, forgive the train, really summarizes it that, you know what, there's just no limitation at this point. And we're seeing that more and more with a lot of the things that have transpired in the county over the last 12 months and over the last 36 months.
Oh, and Unbound also means adventure, excitement, and optimism, and really appeals to the younger demographic that we need to attract to the county.
Yep. And we're going to show you examples of a lot of the collateral and marketing materials here in a minute. Facebook said a key part was the availability of renewable energy, which was really cool to hear them talk about. Shovel-ready sites. Syngenta location, obviously soil type for them. We've got DeKalb County has some of the best soil really in the world that's out there. And then Ferrara, Krasinski and the diligence that he showed and resourcefulness to make that deal happen. That was unique. I mean, to get those 3 companies, especially, to relocate here in DeKalb County, that's staggering that happened here in the last 12 months, right? But it is indicative of, yeah, there is a lot of opportunity here, and it's unbound. So the audiences that we're going to go after that we identified as part of, the audience that we're going to go after is prospective businesses and corporations, obviously. So we need to create messaging to them that's going to resonate. And what they did was they gave us examples of what does that sound like. So when we engage the DeKalb County marketing manager to create additional collateral, when we engage other marketing firms to help us create the collateral and get the message out there, whoever they might be, right? We have to give them some sort of a template, some sort of an idea of it has to sound like this. And this is a great example of, for prospective businesses, the paragraph that they gave us was land of opportunity. That's got a nice ring to it. Shovel-ready development sites with pre-approved incentives, extensive supplier networks, easy access to Chicago and mid-American markets, and a skilled workforce ready to boost your bottom line. We don't know what kind of list you have, but we're pretty sure that ticks all of the boxes. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it here in DeKalb County. And that comes down to that whole idea of when someone's looking to come to DeKalb County, the answer is yes. Then we'll figure out how to make it work. We'll engage the attorneys, we'll engage the municipalities, we'll look at the ordinances, we'll do all that. But first, yeah, we're gonna check a lot of boxes for you. We're gonna engage and we're gonna make this deal happen. Being able to communicate that is really important. And a lot of us know that that's why the Facebooks and the Ferraras and the Sygentas came, because it was so easy to do business here in DeKalb, especially because they were the right companies. They were the right corporations to bring to DeKalb County, right? So that combination, if we can bottle that and communicate it, that helps us become top of mind to the businesses that are out there. When they decide to relocate, they can relocate to DeKalb County. Then prospective and current residents. I keep talking about that generation, the age of 25 to 40, right? That gap is a gap we have to fill, absolutely. And right now, there's no story that DeKalb County is telling to be able to attract those people. We're all kind of operating in our silos, from the university to the individual cities to DeKalb County. This brings a one message about our entire county that we're going to put out there to the western suburbs, to east, the Chicagoland area, and then beyond that, to the state and to the nation. But we want to make sure that we know, I mean, we've got bike paths and parks, and we've got small towns and large towns, and we've got everything someone could want within the border of DeKalb County. We just need to make sure that we get in front of them. And part of that messaging is, we get it. You want affordable housing, good schools, access to quality health care, job opportunities, and a growing local economy, and access to modern amenities without losing that small town charm. An environment where you can truly live, work, and play. What if we told you that's all that and more in DeKalb County? That sounds like a home run to us, but we're biased. I love that, and some of the younger people that we're talking about in that 25 to 40 really like that messaging. It's not in your face, but it's kind of like, hey, we got this. We're biased, we know that, but we're pretty proud of what we have, and we'd love you to come out and take a look and join us in our community. And then the third audience is prospective visitors, right? So from a tourism piece, how can we make sure that people know about all the things that are going on? The Convention and Visitors Bureau does a great job, and we're going to help them reinforce that particular messaging. And that message, and believe me, I'll go a little bit faster here through some of this in a second, but I want to make sure that we communicate some of the base. So that messaging for prospective visitors is, some may say there's nothing to do here, but they couldn't be more wrong. You see, in DeKalb County, we believe only boring people get bored. Microbreweries, farm-to-table dining, art antiques, orchards galore. We got all the buzzwords. What more could you really want? So get out there, leave no stone unturned, no festival unattended. It's an adventure if you make it. And that's also talking to our local residents, that there's nothing to do in DeKalb County. Are you kidding me? Those of us that know, I mean, every day, every weekend is jam-packed with opportunities for people. We need to make sure that we're helping communicate that. And that quality of life piece, right? When people come out and visit all the things that are going on from a tourism perspective, hopefully then we're hooking them for, you know what, honey, we should take a look at getting a house here. We should take a look at the schools. Or, you know what, maybe my business and my staff would really love relocating to DeKalb County. And that's the goal of what we're trying to accomplish. I'm gonna pause a second. Anyone from the branding committee or Paul have any comments so far? I know I'm talking fast, and I'm sure you guys have something to say.
You're hitting the high points, Cohen.
All right.
Doing a great job, Cohen. Thanks.
All right. Any questions from anyone so far? All right. So brand standards, obviously this is the blocking and tackling of the thing. So this is your brand guidelines, no different than Morningstar Media Group did ours at Sundog. You got to have that document that just says what kind of font do you use, what is the colors, all that. So they provided all that for us. But they also, they went a little deeper from the standpoint of the different colors like blue. Blue is the color of intellect, peace, and contemplation. It is often associated with depth, stability, trust, loyalty, and wisdom. Now, some of you may think this is kind of frou-frou stuff, or this is that's a little over the top. But really, when you're trying to make that emotional connection, whether it's audible, right, on the words that we're communicating in the messaging, or visually when they actually look at it, the brain does react certain ways to certain things. And we're, with our brand here, with Opportunity Unbound and the logo and the color scheme and the pictures that we'll use and the text that we'll put in and the voiceovers that we'll do, are triggering those portions of the brain to get that emotional reaction to people. So not only can they see what we're showing them and have an impression, but emotionally, they're going to have the same impression. It's going to reinforce it and hopefully reinforce it to the point for them to make a change. So even the graphic itself, hexagon implies strength, balance, and reliability. The arrow, direction, guidance, upward, right? Forward together, forward. But it's just that unbound piece, right? It's that emotional, up is always a good thing when I think of it. And then we combine those together to create with the colors that they came up with, and then those two icons, a brand that is going to look really great on shirts, hats, collateral, but also simple, modern, but not over the top. And the saying or the logo type of Opportunity Unbound kind of puts it all together for us. So here's what the complete graphic ultimately looks like. As you can see, so this part here would be what we would have on all of our collateral, again, on the shirts, hats, all those things. And then obviously they did the due diligence to provide us if we need to do black and white on something or whatever else it might be, which was great. Photography, I know this is probably hard to see for a lot of you, but the reason they did this is they wanted to show when we're creating new collateral, if we're using a marketing firm like Morningstar or OC Creates or someone else local to help us with this, right? What is it that we need to make sure that the images that they're utilizing in those graphics actually communicates? And they gave us an example of that. To maintain that brand integrity, this is the photography that we would use. Me personally, one thing that I love about it, it hits two things. It hits agriculture, so it hits that
join the meeting.
That core of who we are, the heart of DeKalb County, right? This is where we came from. Now, agriculture has changed a lot, and agriculture is incredibly high tech. So I love seeing the farmer and the tractor with all the digital displays, right? Which is great. I love seeing all the pictures of education in here, but also I love seeing all the pictures of diversity. If you look at these pictures, once you have the playbook, it is a melting pot. It reflects the way the world is, and that's the way ultimately DeKalb County is. So that message that we'll be able to communicate, anyone that looks at DeKalb County is going to see themselves in our branding and marketing that we do. And I thought that was a great reference point that they put in here. So marketing collateral, just looking at some of this stuff, like on the left here, we've got, let's just say these are one-pagers that we might have laying around. So realtors, suit, this would be perfect for you, where you can have some things that just you can hand out to people to be able to show them, look, this is who we are. This is what we're about, right? On the right, you can see in magazines, if we provide ads, that's what it'll be. And we constantly reinforce Opportunity Unbound, DeKalb County, Illinois, DeKalb County, Illinois, making sure that that message never gets lost. Pursue and prosper, right? Opportunity for growth, always reinforcing the message. Let's see. Oh yeah, so also if we did mailers, they gave us examples again of what that can look like. Pursue and prosper, DeKalb County, Illinois, as well as some more flyers and other marketing collateral. Billboards, this is what the billboards could look like. So if you're driving down Interstate 88 and you think about the amount of people going by there and you see opportunity for growth, DeKalb County, Illinois, man, if I was a business and I'm thinking about relocating, expanding, something like that, and that's on my mind, and believe me, when they're thinking about it, that's all it consumes you. I know this when I was thinking about doing this building downtown DeKalb. And you see opportunity for growth, DeKalb County, I'm going to make sure that when I get home, I'm going to log in and check it out and see what's going on there, because there must be something amazing to be able to have a billboard on the interstate for me to be able to see. They use words like endless opportunity, right? Community, you'll find that here. So those people thinking during a global pandemic that I need to relocate outside of downtown Chicago to somewhere else, when you hear the word community, right? And you see those people just gathering, smiles on their face, and you'll find that here in DeKalb County, Illinois. That again, you know, when someone's thinking about it, to be top of mind when they're in that decision-making phase, that's the goal here, is to make sure that we are top of mind and the communication that we use resonates with them in order to have them want to find out further information. You can see trade show stuff, you know, banners on light poles. I mean, we've got a wide variety of examples that other marketing firms can run with. Emailers, Google ads, banner ads, landing pages, all that blocking and tackling of marketing has been done for us. So now the DeKalb County marketing manager can run with this information and engage companies to be able to produce this for us, and we can start distributing that information. Even Facebook ads, what does that look like? LinkedIn, all that. Boy, I'm really hoping Facebook gives us a discount on Facebook ads. That might be in our cards, and believe me, I'm going to ask for sure. But again, just all the different ways that we can get our message out there. What it looks like on shirts, coffee mugs, t-shirts, polos, you name it. So a really great representation of that. And then even radio spots. So when it comes time to be able to communicate on the radio, those paragraphs that I read you before, having messaging that are like those. But to be able to have that example is just fantastic. So in a nutshell, from a collateral perspective, DCC Marketing provided us that. The DeKalb County Marketing Manager, when we hire that person, bring them on, has a great playbook to work with in order to start executing on those. So we also know that, you know, you don't just do it, you don't spend a bunch of money and just hope for results. You want to spend the money and know the results are going to be there. And then you want to be able to track them and report back on people that have contributed to the success of this initiative. So we know we're going to be doing a lot of tracking and reporting. It's, you know, you've got the things like click rates and all that. You've got how many Facebook likes do you have? You've got a lot of those things, which are great. But also what we're going to be looking at is what is the average property value in DeKalb County? What's the average commercial space going for? What's the average wage in DeKalb County, right? How long does a house stay on the market in DeKalb County? All those things to be able to baseline and then be able to see as we move forward how we have moved the needle in our county on a lot of those KPIs, those key performance indicators, in order to be able to report back and go, we're crushing it right now. And make sure I don't forget one component of this is when you hit like 2008, the global recession, when you hit COVID and a global pandemic and a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt starts happening out there, the natural reaction for most businesses, most educational facilities, most municipalities, counties, all that, if they are spending anything on sales and marketing, they're going to pull it back because that's an expense. So right now, definitely what we're seeing is people are not budgeting and spending on that. But having listened over the last 6 months to experts in the field, the one resonating, continuing current, every time I listen to them, every time I read about them, every time I follow their podcast, that everyone says is now more than ever is when you do that. Now is the time to double down on these things. And why that is when no one's doing it, and believe me, there's not a lot of municipalities and counties that are actually actively trying to market themselves like what we're talking about here, right? So that's opportunity. But when people are pulled back and reserved, then the opportunity is truly there. And with adversity, there's always opportunity. So the ability for us to be able to execute on this sooner rather than later just means that's one more person we're going to get here. That's one more business we're going to get here. That's one more whatever that we're going to get to relocate to DeKalb County in order to spend money here, to generate more taxes, to generate more opportunities for everybody. So if there was ever a time to get started, it's actually a really good time to get started. And there's not a lot of great things to say about the global pandemic, but this is one of them. It's the opportunity that is presented DeKalb County right now. And it's great that we started this process before the pandemic really hit. So yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. I've got Paul here, myself here, we've got members of the branding committee. I would love to answer any questions. We'll do the best that we can, and if we don't know the answer, we'll definitely get back to you on it. But at this point, I'd open it up for questions from anybody on the branding and communications playbook. Or Paul, or anyone on the branding committee, if there's something more I need to elaborate on, boy, please chime in.
Thanks, Cohen. I'd like to thank all of the members and participants in the focus group meetings, the extensive focus group meetings, for their input. It's valuable. It's important to the creation of this plan, as I believe you can see. I'd also like to thank the branding committee members who contributed their time in guiding this effort. I'd like to thank the board of directors for DCEDC and the executive committee for investing the resources in this program, and also the DeKalb County Community Foundation for their grant contributing to the preparation of this Opportunity Unbound branding playbook.
Thanks, Paul. Dan, did I miss anything that you would, you always have some great words to follow the gaps I produced.
Well, no pressure there. Actually, I mean, I think you covered all the real high levels of it. And I think it was just a great process to go through. I just kind of came in toward the end when DCC had information to share and roll out. And I think we even, they were very open to our input from that point. And I think it's just time to move forward and go. It's good information, good material. And I think it'll be important to have good leadership in place and really commit the resources to make this move forward. And also looking forward to ways that'll integrate with NIU and the next project there in the center, and ways to co-brand.
Yeah. Like, can you all imagine, Facebook is here in DeKalb County, and who's telling that story, right? There was a Facebook post about it, made it in the Chronicle, made it in like Cranes. I mean, there was activity when it first announced. Now what? There's no one that is driving that message. And what we know of, if done correctly, when a McDonald's goes up, a Burger King comes, right? There's opportunity for the Microsofts, the Googles, the Amazons, you name it, just from a data center perspective. For our candy company, that's a big deal. No one's telling that story. Syngenta, right? That's a big deal. No one's telling that story. We have an enterprise zone out here that has been wildly successful. Can you imagine if we're actually communicating to businesses that we have an enterprise zone, here's what it looks like, and here's what can save you by building in DeKalb County? We're not telling that message. I mean, DCEDC does everything it can. The county does everything they can with their people. But a lot of it is when stuff's coming in, it's the time and energy just supporting that and focused on making sure that when that opportunity happened, that we're able to land it. But we're not actively promoting ourselves. We're not actively going after that business, those residents, those future students at Northern Illinois University, like we could be if we had a consistent branding and communication message that every day, every month, every year continues to happen. So again, we're always top of mind when someone's in that decision-making mode to do one of those things.
Oh, and this is Jeff. I'd like to reinforce one of the points that you were making about now's the time to strike, because as I've, in my capacity as a state rep, as I've traveled around and had different discussions with people, DeKalb is top of mind with folks right now. They're very excited to see what's going on in DeKalb, and people are very envious of what we've got going on. And the opportunity is now. It is absolutely now. So I'm pumped to see this happen, and I look forward to seeing the next step. So let me know how I can help.
You betcha. What else out there? Come on, some of you carried a lot of water on this process, so I know you've got some question or comment or anything at all. You gotta love Zoom meetings. Well, so the goal here is we're gonna raise the money required to hire a full-time branding DeKalb County marketing manager to help us with the branding and communication, the implementation of the branding and communication playbook, right? To be able to fund the collateral that's going to be required to be able to get out there, whether it's sell sheets, whether it's Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, billboards, whatever it might be. But what we do know is if we go big, that we have the highest chance of return on that. And DCC Marketing did this similar kind of thing in another community that property values went up, wages went up, investment went up, and it transformed that particular community. So it's definitely out there. And then again, working hand in hand with Northern Illinois University on the same type of messaging, the same type of communication, it has all the chance in the world to be successful. So DCEDC, and I saw you on mute, Mayor, give me 1 second. DCEDC has already formed, or is forming, maybe we're done, formed fundraising group that's going to get together here in the next couple of weeks, if I remember right, Paul. And we're going to be coming up with what is our strategy for the fundraising component of this. And interest is incredibly high. We were before the DeKalb County board, and I don't think there was a board member that didn't believe in this and is looking forward to continuing the conversation after the first of the year to be able to contribute. We're hoping municipalities are going to contribute, obviously private sector, everyone, but that's going to be our goal, is figuring that out, to be able to raise money for a 3-year plan, a 3-year implementation plan. And then simultaneously throughout the fall and winter, DCDC is going to be going through its strategic planning process. And one of the things we will be talking about is how do we design ourselves to be able to make this self-funded and continue this after year 3. So the goal here is this is permanent. We will crush this, we will run with it, and we will finally, once and for all, market DeKalb County so we can be top of mind with businesses, potential students, and residents that are looking to relocate. Mayor, did you have something, Mayor Smith? You're muted, Mayor.
Yeah, my only point was that I think the lay of the land was that we were going to try to be successful prior to the end of this calendar year to get the county board to sort of buy into this thing. And I understand their decision last night is sort of put this on the back burner, on their back burner at least, until after the first of the year. But I think you answered my question, and that is that we have the inner workings here within DCEDC and within the fundraising group that you and Paul are going to be working and formulating here so that we don't lose the momentum. So we're not counting only on one organization to move this forward.
Yep. Yeah, and with DeKalb County government, there was just an opportunity there in the form of their opportunity fund that we just were asked to come and present and see if they were comfortable enough moving forward immediately on it. But understandably, with COVID and the uncertainty of revenue streams and this, that, the other, we both agreed that it was just, you know what, let's just wait till after the first of the year. So my goal, my desire, and what's driving me through all this right now is to get started tomorrow. I can't, but to get started tomorrow. And the quicker we can raise the money to start this process means the quicker we can hire, the quicker we can design the collateral, the quicker we can start getting the message out. Because again, every day that goes by, I mean, what if Facebook was looking around and whatever brought them to DeKalb, how they got our name first, we weren't there that day. DeKalb County was not there that day when Facebook made that choice. That's why I want to get this done now, is people are making choices. Businesses are relocating right now. People are choosing colleges right now. People are deciding where they're going to live right now. So the quicker that we can implement this means more opportunities that we're going to gain and bring those people and those businesses to DeKalb County.
And I think one of the things that we can do collectively is to do something that was alluded to at the board meeting, and that is yes.
Yeah.
It's not no, it's yes. And if we don't know exactly how we're going to get it done, we're going to figure it out. But to simply say, well, we've never done that before, that's what we don't want to do. We want yes, we're going to figure it out.
Yep, and our branding and communication is just that. And it's been a long time, but I think every taxing body in DeKalb County right now is in that mindset. Cooperation, being open to ideas, and then actually executing on making deals happen. And it's really cool to see. And we're seeing it. And when you look at all the activity that's happened in the last 12, 24 months, It's been impressive throughout the entire DeKalb County. I'm looking around the room. Anyone else? Uh-huh. All right. Last chance. I shouldn't say last chance. This is the first, so the goal here was so many of you were involved in this. So like Paul said, I think from the bottom of my heart for making this happen. So many of you carry a lot of water on this, which is great. This is just the first step. So we just wanted to make sure that those that were directly involved in it really had one of the first looks at the playbook. Figure let you have time to get it settled in your head. If other questions come up, you can definitely reach out to me directly if you have my contact information or to Paul. Also, the co-chair of this group is Courtney Strohacker, and she is the executive director of the DeKalb County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Courtney had an emergency today and couldn't attend today. She was going to be my co-presenter. It would have been a lot better if she was here, believe me. So any of us would be happy to answer additional questions. And then I look forward to working with some or many of you on the steps of fundraising and then also the steps of execution and making this darn thing come to life, which is just going to be great to see. So without further questions, that's not bad. 4:23, and this was scheduled for an hour. So I guess thanks everyone, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Cohen.
You betcha.
Good job.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh, thanks, Jan.
You want to hang on here a little bit, Paul?
Sure.
It was good. I was
Oh, is that Lisa King?
most of it.
Most of it. Is that you, Lisa?
It is. It's me. It's Lisa.
It's good to hear you at least. I can't see you, but it's good to hear
All right.
you. Take care. Have a good one, Doug. All right, I kicked them all out. Yeah, I hadn't gone through the playbook in a while. I thought there was more after that last slide.
Oh,
I'm so used to her presentation slide, you know.
oh, you know what? You know what we didn't include? We didn't include the
Marketing manager description.
the advertising schedule and the marketing manager job description.
Yep.
But I think this is enough for this group to digest.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you think? What do you think we should do next time to make it better?
Oh,
All right, I'm glad you didn't pull out your notebook and be like, well, I wrote down 20 things.
no. You hit, there's just you hit all the high points. You know, the other thing I was going to mention, and I did mention it, it says at the beginning and later on, it's really important for us to work together. All of our communities are in such silos. We need to work together. But I didn't want to beat people up for attending today, you know, and representing their own communities. Maybe there's a better way of saying that we've got to do this collectively to be successful. We all have to speak in unison. And I guess, I don't know.
Okay.
You know what I was thinking about? Our next steps are the fundraising leadership team and also rolling it out to the public. And I think Courtney has some ideas regarding that, but what do we need to do to roll it out to the public properly?
I would defer to Courtney on so much of that.
And defer to some of the misinformation. And fortunately, I think that's very limited misinformation, but they all got the attention of the county board. Those few people.
I think that's a conversation we should actually have.
Oh, should we stop recording?